Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the February 11th Lebanon City Council meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilman Kincaid, will you lead us, please?
I will, sir.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mike.
Welcome.
Next, we'll move on to the roll call of members. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Councilman Kincaid.
Present.
Councilman Campbell.
Here.
Councilman Jones.
Here.
Councilman Robertson.
Here.
Councilman Copeland.
Here.
Councilman Wheat.
Present.
Councilman Fleming.
Present.
Thank you.
All right, we do have 2 minutes from our 2 separate sets of minutes to approve from our previous meetings. The first is the minutes from our January 14th meeting. Are there any changes or edits to those minutes from the council? Okay, would entertain a motion to approve our January 14th meeting minutes.
Make a motion. We approve the January 14th meeting minutes.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, those minutes are approved. And on to the January 29th meeting minutes. Any edits or changes? 28th, excuse me. Thank you. 28th. Any amendments or changes to those from council? Okay, would entertain a motion.
Move to approve the minutes of 1/28/19.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, minutes are approved. Next, on to old business. The one item I have here is ordinance 2019-02, which is an amendment to Chapter 77 concerning parking schedules within the city limits of Lebanon. I'll turn it over to City Engineer Krulik to introduce.
Thank you, Council, and good evening. I handed out just a few minutes ago a red-line copy of the ordinance, you saw at the last meeting, where I have provided a red-line copy of revisions that have been added. These are revisions, some are just typo, cleanup issues of that nature, clerical items. Others are comments that I received from either the mayor's office or from some of you council members. So I thank everyone for their support and taking the time to look through this. I'll go through the red lines one at a time, I guess, if that would appease the council.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay. So as you go down the first page, under section 2, paragraph B, simply there was an extra space between west and line that was removed. Again, as I said, some of these are inconsequential, but going on to the next page.
Maybe just go to the substantive ones.
Absolutely. The first one that would be substantive would be paragraph T, remove the word north. There is not North Kersey Street, it's just Kersey Street. North is just a direction that we use. And then there are a couple of series of ones that where I added the word first before alley, just to be a little bit more descriptive on which alley it was referring to. So paragraph U, you will see the word first added before the word alley. Paragraph W, you will see the same thing. Let's see. Also paragraph W, there was a typo corrected in the word having. Paragraph GG, that's double G. The word hour was added after the number 2. That is 2-hour maximum parking durations. This is in the area around the square. Paragraph MM. This was an addition. Actually, there was a Green Street one already that was a duplicate, but someone brought to my attention that there was previously a no parking area on the south side of Green Street between Meridian and East Street. This is on the north end of what used to be the old Stokes School, which is now Stokes Commons. Apparently those no parking signs at some point were taken down, most likely throughout the construction of the Stokes Commons project, and was not put back up. So I used that duplicate Green Street listing and revised that to include that area.
So Kevin, on that change there, so I went and looked at it as well. It appeared on all throughout Green Street, all the way to Pleasant Street. There was no parking either way as well. So I had proposed an amendment as well to the council that would have extended that all the way to Pleasant Street, not just to East Street. So that's what I wanted to propose to the council on
Okay.
that.
From State Road 39 to Pleasant?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Again, sorry for the oversight. We tried our best to inventory the whole city, but we obviously missed that one. Okay, so MM would be revised to read on the south side of Green Street between the east line of State Road, between the east line of Lebanon Street, parentheses, Indiana State Road 39, and the west line of Pleasant Street, with how that would be read. A correction there on paragraph NN, it read the north side, should have read the south side. Paragraph OO, once again, the word first was added before the word alley. Same thing on paragraph PP, the word first added before the word alley. There's some minor typo corrections in paragraph TT. Paragraph UU, there's a substantive change there. It was our intention that it would be a 10-foot total area in front of a fire hydrant, not a 20-foot total area, so that has been corrected. And
Well,
then,
so on that, we said 10 feet on each side. So do we want to say, the wording I had was within 10 feet of either side of any fire hydrant versus just changing the 20 to 10?
Right.
I'm fine
Comfortable
if
with
if that goes to that. I did verify with the fire department, they were only looking for a 10-foot total area, but it could be a 20-foot total area if we do 10 feet on either side.
I think that's my preference.
Okay?
I have one other question, Kevin.
Yep,
Back up to TT.
sure.
We put the word hour in there after the number 2.
Thank you.
So we go back to the fire hydrant for a moment.
Sure. Sure.
10 feet total would be 5 foot either side.
That's why we want to say 10 feet on either
So
side.
the fire department was good with 10 foot. If you go 10 feet on each side, how much parking space is that?
20 feet.
20.
I mean,
20 feet total.
Yeah, I know, but does it take away a spot?
It would at least take away one, depending on how the spacing was on the street. It could be 2 in theory, but it would at least be 1 space.
That be a issue on some streets?
Well, so, I mean, this is actually less than if we're on a state road, they say it's 15 feet on each side.
Okay.
So the 10 we thought was, I mean, granted, the way we fight fires has changed probably since that state code's been amended, but, I mean, it's really your preference on how far we think we need it. The fire department said 10, our thought 20, it kind of spreads it out a little bit more, but.
The thought, from the fire department's perspective, they don't need to park in front of a fire hydrant.
Correct.
You know,
Yeah.
they need to connect a hose to the fire hydrant, but they don't park adjacent to a fire
Doing the
hydrant.
work.
Yeah. So they just need the space to make sure they can see the hydrant and make the connections. That's what they're looking
I was
at.
just concerned that if it were a short street, that extra 10 foot might take away a parking spot, maybe, and there's only 3 or 4 spots on that short street. That was the only thing I was thinking about.
So your
Yeah.
preference is 5 then on each side of the hydrant?
Well, that would be my recommendation. I don't know what everybody else thinks about it.
You know, and your point would be, say, there is a fire hydrant 35 feet from a corner. Well, if we take away 20 feet, then there is no parking between there and the corner effectively. We would
Right.
not have a full width parking space.
Correct. And that, there might be one there now.
There might be.
Correct.
Yeah.
I concur with Mike. I think we move it to 5 and 5.
5 on each side? Okay.
Okay.
I think we're better off leaving it at 10. It's going to be very rare that you have one in the middle of, most of your fire hydrants are at the corners. You do have one in the middle of the block somewhere.
I get it,
But
but
you need to have that room for the fire department to get in there.
They say 10's okay.
Well, I think 10 side to either side of the fire hydrant
Yeah.
is good.
The extra width too would help with visibility of seeing the fire hydrant, but I don't know how much importance that.
Take a vote.
So essentially, the question would be just, instead of changing it to 10 feet, leaving it at 20.
Well, I
that
think
would be-
within 20 is, within 20 could be read as 20 feet on each side
Yeah.
versus, so that's why I wanted to clarify on each side of.
Within
the
10 feet of each side, okay.
Within 10 feet on each side or within 5 feet, or 5 feet, based on council's prerogative.
Where's the tape measure at?
Yeah, 10 feet of any fire hydrant is 10 feet either direction.
So I would say whatever the distance we decide on, it
Yeah.
would say within blank feet of either side of any.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
What's the standard now? What are we using now as measurements?
I'll be honest, this is not something that's currently in our ordinance, so it would just depend on if there is existing signage in place or existing curbs that have been painted. I think you'd find it's kind of a random distance at this point.
At each hydrant, it could be totally different?
Yeah.
State code specifies 15 feet on each side, but again, that's state code, and that's, that's a different situation than.
The state
Local street.
recommends 15 on each side?
I don't say they recommend, that's what they have on their traffic code, but it may be a different situation and all that.
Okay, well, easy. I mean, who wants 10? Raise your hand.
I'd go for 10.
I'd go for
I'm
10.
I'm not an expert on it, but when you consider not only is there a main plug coming straight out, you got two that come out from the side, and the hoses just don't bend 90, they need the space, so I would err on the side of caution there, plus the visibility issue of being able to see the fire hydrant as you're rolling up in the middle of a crisis. It's a lot easier to see that fire hydrant if there's cars a little farther back.
Yep.
What?
I'm 10.
Okay, 4 10s and 1 undecided,
Okay.
2 5s. We can
Okay.
10s win.
Just to clarify, did you say
The 20
10
wins.
either side, 20 total?
10 on each side.
Okay, thank you. So this UU will read within 10 feet of either side of any fire hydrant?
Yes.
Okay. And then the last two substantive changes that I have, one I added as a catch-all, ZZ. This was something that I thought would make things in the future a little more streamlined, as opposed to a revised ordinance whenever we would need to add something of this nature. If we would just say, and I'll read it to you, it says, "In areas where signs containing the words 'no parking' have been erected as approved by the City of Lebanon Board of Public Works and Safety." So my thought would be is if this is acceptable to council and to legal counsel and the city council, that we could add a blanket statement like this. And if we ever needed to add additional no parking signs in an area, that would be a request and a decision of the Lebanon Board of Public Works and Safety to add more signs. Don't have to do it, but I just thought it would make it easier than doing ordinance revisions every time we wanted to add a no parking zone.
Good idea.
Council comfortable with that?
I'm good with that.
Yeah. Legal? You okay?
Okay. And then the last one that was added in just slightly before this meeting was Shorewood Drive, 150 feet south of the south line of County Road 250 North or Anderson Lane. That is because there is a median in the middle of that entrance into Shorewood, and you can't physically park there anyway. So it'd be good to clean that up.
Is there a fire hydrant there?
I thought we already did it.
That is a current ordinance we're just adding.
It wasn't reflected in the, that was an ordinance that we did.
That was a couple
making
years
sure
ago we
it's-
did that
yeah.
one.
And then also I had another one as well that said, I guess it'd be section, I don't know how, it'd be triple B, I guess, or I don't know how you're doing it all, but, or upon, or in any, or in a way that impedes the use of any city sidewalk as well. That was another proposal I wanted to add as well.
No parking on the sidewalks.
Just to clarify that in the
Yeah.
traffic code.
That's all the comments or revisions I've collected.
I know, thrilling topic, everyone, but just wanted to.
I would like to talk about the city sidewalk one. Is there, so.
Sure.
Like, houses in my neighborhood, like the sidewalk crosses the driveway.
Yep.
How do we construe that? How do we define that sidewalk?
I mean, sidewalks are, I mean, it's pretty clear how we define, I mean, sidewalks are a set, I mean, pathway. So anything that impedes the sidewalk.
This is going to cause issues, I think, for neighborhoods such as mine or Gulfside or like that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I
No.
do, because like if I have 3 cars in my driveway,
Yeah.
it's gonna go over the
Well,
sidewalk.
it's the same at my house, but you don't do that. You're blocking the sidewalk.
Well, there's families that have 3 kids
Saying, yeah.
driving in.
I just-
Park in the yard.
They do, no. We don't park in the yard.
Keith, this is yours, so.
Oh, I understand, and that's what I've said all along. I told you my solution to that was better than that. We have to move the setbacks back.
Right.
To me, that's the correct way to do it. Push the setbacks another 10 feet, so
Yeah.
you,
That helps the new houses, but how do we deal with the ones that are there today?
right. Would be your new homes from then on.
We have discussed that, Ben Bontrager, our
Right.
city planner, and I have discussed that once we get through the comprehensive plan update, we're going to do an internal update of our UDO, or our PUD,
Especially with
excuse me, our
people-
UDO ordinance.
People today don't want as much yard to clean up anyway, so
Yeah.
that just takes 10.
Yeah, I think we're going to try to get creative and also use that as a way to gain some visual interest to the homes and provide a parking setback or a garage setback as well as a
Either
building
way.
setback
As long as
so
they
that we
park
can,
more than,
I think we have,
pickup trucks, they're gonna be way past that.
yeah.
I think we have an ordinance for no parking on the sidewalks.
We already do, correct? Yeah, this is just reemphasizing that it's in the no parking
Very
area.
substantial fine, I think, if they do that.
We can have you collect that, Dick.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to Dan, to your point, I mean, it already is prohibited in city ordinance,
Fair enough. All right, so,
so
time to clean my garage.
just putting in this code now then allows
Got
the,
it. So basically what we're doing here too is just so everyone's tracking is we're just taking everything and putting it in one ordinance,
Yeah.
all the city code. So I understand.
yeah, recodifying it. So,
Streamlining.
were there any other changes or amendments anyone wanted to make or propose?
I just had one quick question on MM on Green Street. A lot of folks are going to be surprised if this passes because you're right, they took those no parking down during construction. And so the folks that live there now had no clue that they're not supposed to be parking. And I've noticed, because I go down through there periodically, that it's very congested. So it's needed, but have we tried any outreach just to let them know that this may change here pretty quick?
We can definitely do that before these signs go up. I mean, no intention to run out and install these signs tomorrow.
I just want to make that point because, I mean, they don't know any different because the signs were gone.
Yeah.
So,
And I will say, though, I mean, of course, it will be, there'll be a learning curve there, but the development did add a parking lot on that
Right.
north side, so I don't think they will be overly burdened by having to move another 20 feet to pull into the parking lot.
I would agree.
But there will be some people that would be upset by that.
yeah.
Any other comments from council on this?
Yes, sir.
Any public comment? Okay. So just to kind of review, we'll do this in 2 parts. One will be to accept the proposed amendment, amending ordinance 2019-02, the non-substantive changes and the changes we talked about earlier in UU with the, or in TT, adding the hour, with the UU within the 10 feet of either side of a fire hydrant. The 2 new additions there, as well as the addition concerning the parking upon a city sidewalk as well. So,
Do we need to make a motion to accept all the changes first?
well, and that's what I was just clarifying what the amendment is. So, would be looking for an amendment, a motion to amend ordinance 2019-02 to reflect the changes proposed and discussed.
I will so move as directed, make the changes that were just listed, read into the minutes for ordinance 2019-2.
Okay,
I'll second that.
so we have a motion and a second. Further discussion?
I do have one more question, I'm sorry.
Yep.
On the fire hydrants, other than signs, are they going to be marked yellow paint, something like that? For the people will see where they can go and where they're not supposed to park things?
That is our goal. I've been working with the street department and the street commissioner over the last few weeks as we've laid out projects for the coming year, and one of those is to purchase a large amount of yellow reflective paint, and we want to do a sweep throughout the entire city and clean up a lot of these things that are here regarding parking, proximities to intersections, fire hydrants, handicap ramps. We want to clean that up. Yes, this will remove some parking throughout the city, but these are really things that we need to do from a public safety standpoint.
When you do the fire hydrants, do they repaint the fire hydrants and everything? I mean, if we're going to do it,
I believe the fire hydrants get painted on a regular basis.
Yeah, we actually pay the utilities to paint fire hydrants.
All right.
Yeah, I believe the street department used to paint fire hydrants, but a few years ago, that became a Lebanon Utilities responsibility.
Thank
It's part
you.
of maintaining the fire hydrants.
It's the $400-some-thousand appropriation we make every year to maintain fire hydrants. You remember that during budget discussions?
I do, sir.
I do, vividly.
The
All right,
400 does buy you more than just paint, but
we do have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? I'll ask again, public comment? No? Okay.
I just have
Oh,
one
sorry.
question. This motion is just to amend
This motion is to amend,
only,
correct?
and then we'll come back.
And then we'll do a motion
have
to
the clean
approve
copy.
as amended.
Okay, thank you.
So all in favor of the motion to, or all in favor of the motion to approve the amendment as proposed, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, that amendment has been approved. And now would entertain a motion to approve ordinance 2019-02 as amended.
I'll make a motion, we approve ordinance 2019-02 as amended.
Okay, we have a motion to approve ordinance 2019-02 as amended. Is there a second?
second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, that ordinance has been approved as amended, and we'll get you a finalized,
Okay.
clean, so. Okay,
thank you.
thank you, Gavin, appreciate it. I know that was a little long, but I think that'll help us long-term. That concludes what I have for new business. Is there anything from council?
I don't have anything.
Okay. With that, would move on to claims. Would entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we pay claims.
We have a motion to pay the claims. Is there a second? Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, claims are approved. And any discussion announcements from council?
Nothing, sir.
No? Okay. Then would entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Our next council meeting will be February 25th at 7:15 PM. Thanks for watching.
Hey, Rob. Thank you.